Texas is a state with a history of gerrymandering, discriminatory voting practices, and low voter turnout. So because of this, those who hold power in Texas are normally far from the majority. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, a democracy can be defined as a system of government in which the power is either held by elected representatives or directly by the people themselves. But Texas doesn't operate under those rules. So by law, legislative and congressional districts are redrawn every 10 years. But according to the Texas Legislative Council's website, there are no constitutional provisions in Texas that address who is in charge of redistricting. So instead of having a nonpartisan independent commission make the map, essentially whoever's in power at the time can redraw district lines in order to benefit themselves. So this can lead to the dilution of minority power while overrepresenting the groups that they see fit. Another problem is how voting laws serve the people. So in 1944, there was the Supreme Court case Smith versus Allwright, in which the Supreme Court said that primaries weren't a private organization and therefore couldn't set the rules, saying that African Americans were not allowed to vote. There was also the poll tax until 1966, in where minorities and lower class were not allowed to vote. And even now with Senate Bill 14, according to FindLaw.com, Rick Perry did stop voter fraud, but only in 2 cases, while 20 million Americans voted without incident. So with reports of gerrymandering and discriminatory voter laws in Texas history, it's no wonder that voter turnout is also so low. According to the Texas Secretary of State's website, in November of 2007, only 8% of voters showed up to vote, but the following year, 60% of voters did show up for the presidential elections. This is problematic because the Electoral College had already been chosen and the president is not directly elected. In conclusion, Texas does not operate as a democracy. Its policies of gerrymandering, restrictions at the polls, and low voter turnout means that the few that do get to vote have been privileged and don't want to instigate the necessary change in Texas for it to be representative of its population today.